major fundraiser that we have ever done. And I want to thank our president, Mr. Solomon, has really done it. And if you didn't notice, I don't think you all paid anything to come in. So we sponsored this because we wanted you to be free to donate however much you wanted to Care for a Child's Heart without having to say. We have many opportunities for you to donate without just writing a check. So your ticket, I think, was $35. Everyone will walk away, who purchased the ticket, will walk away with the bottom line valued at least $20 or $25. So if you don't get one of those four, which we will announce throughout the night, you will leave with the bottom line. So that's when we'll have an auction. Mr. Jenkins is an auctioneer, and Mrs. Harless is an auction stuff. Mixing a foot. We're talking about a child who will not survive without the surgery. And that's what brings it home to the board members. When we're looking at this, we see actual faces of children. Please go into our website. Please ask one of the board members. If everyone doesn't know, can I have the board members and the advisory board members to please stand? If you have any questions about CPATCH, please reach out to one of us. We will be happy to answer your question.
With the responsibility of introducing Dr. Di Donato. Dr. Di Donato is an established pediatric cardiac surgeon from Italy. In addition to this, he's a member of the most prestigious professional associations. He has maintained an active academic production throughout his career. His professional expertise ranges across the entire spectrum of cardiac repairs, and he has dedicated most of his career to offer a chance to children born with congenital heart defects. Dr. Roberto Di Donato.
Thank you very much. It's good evening, everybody for being here tonight. I've been lucky as Mr. Zimi Solomon, my friend Solomon, anticipated. I've been lucky to become part of this organization, not part, but I do the mission for this organization. So I'm very proud of it, and I'm particularly honored to be here tonight. So thank you very much for the invitation, and thank you for the CFACH, organization and board, and also for the kind invitation. So I'm going to give you a presentation to report my experience with CFACH. So we're going to give you an idea of what we do when we go on the ground, on the field. The congenital heart anomalies in Africa, they represent numerically not a predominant problem, but the clinical significance is probably the highest, and I will explain why. So we're talking about congenital heart disease, and you can see that this is represented the number of births in Africa as compared to USA, to a country, mine, that is known to have one of the lowest birth rates. So you can see that the prevalence of congenital heart anomalies per 1,000 live births is there represented. The number of yearly births is by far the highest. So you can figure out, those who are good in maths, how many patients. We're talking about several thousand. So several thousand births, patients that are born with this problem. They don't receive a proper treatment. So more than 90% of these children are not treated. Congenital heart anomalies are among the top 5 causes of death. And sadly, the consideration to make is that more than 95% of this patient could be saved with an operation, with some intervention. So fortunately, there are organizations like Care for Child's Heart that they are dedicated to solve this problem, to serve the neediest to the needy ones. You can see that they modestly call themselves a small organization. Still, they need a good number of people to be involved in this. And you can see, you can recognize many of them. In the top part is the boards, and then down below, more different level of the organizations for implementation of different activities. In the last row, these are people working in Kenya, from Irene, Anel, and etc., working directly with the mission also is to offer the best possible care to the patients. How to do that? Pursuing global collaboration, performing patient selection and preparation, aiming at doing life-saving surgeries, helping in the capacity building, and of course never forgetting the patient that already been operated, pursuing follow-up care. What do we have to do? We have to put the aorta on the left ankle and the pulmonary artery on the right. And so these are the stages. You see the harvesting here of the root of the aortic outflow, and here behind is the transected also the pulmonary artery. There are 2 openings here in the outlets and a septum in between that we divide. The result is this huge opening here that basically includes both the left and the right ventricular outflow. So the aorta is shifted back to the left ventricular outlet. So and reconnected posteriorly again to connect the left ventricle. The connection is completed with the closure of the ventricular septal defect. In the meantime, by previous temporary transection of the aorta, the pulmonary conference is brought anteriorly. sorry for being this so detailed, but just to show you, connected to the right ventricular exit with some patch augmentation. It is an operation that is not available even in the Western world everywhere. It requires some expertise, some experience, and not many cases have been done in the world till now. And at that point, I thought that there were the conditions to try, and thank God we were lucky that the patient did very well. So why do we do this? Personally approaching this my work with a great enthusiasm and passion, but also there is a special gratification in seeing these patients, becoming, smiling to you because they realize they got the only chance in their life to change the destiny they have. Equally good people, from cardiologists, anesthetists, perfusionists, scrub nurses, ICU nurses, intensivists, and so on. So we are just a cog in the wheel, to say, just one part of the mechanism, the complex mechanism to achieve these results. And so I wanted to point out this aspect. There is malnutrition, of course, numerically, is predominant problem. And, and it's important to take care of it. But these patients, they only need food. Basically, if you feed them well and prevent the infectious disease, they are okay. And fortunately, there are some major organizations taking care of this. Okay, so they provide the necessary, as much as they can, provide the necessary things for ensuring their survival and well-being. Now, congenital heart disease is totally different illness. It requires open heart surgery. That means procuring materials, equipment, bringing it in there, and paying the hospital bills. So that is totally, for the food, maybe one monthly tip is enough for these patients. Unfortunately, much greater investment is needed. Self-explicative. It is a machine that manages the circulation, bypassing the complex of the heart and the lungs. And this valve here is a single valve, it's not two valves. So what we need to do, we need to close this communication. This is a atrial septal closure with a patch. This is the ventricular septal with a closure with a patch. And this is also a complete canal that implies a patch, usually the single patch, because of this combined communication between the atria and the ventricles. All valid people participate. So the language is the same, the professionalism. All right, thank you very much.
And the next step will be a Q&A, question and answer, with one of the founders of the organization, Barbara Siconte. Barbara has been with Take Heart Association Project from its infancy. I found her there, and she's been my mentor. She's guided me through the years. So please welcome her.
As a first-time effort for us, we really appreciate your help. And as Solomon said, I was there at the beginning. 2002, when a man from Kenya named Peter Mabogo Kamau came to the Washington, D.C. area, and his goal was to start a nonprofit organization here in the U.S. to raise money for what he was doing in Kenya. And he was doing what we do today on a much smaller scale. I met him. It was January. He was not used to cold weather in the Washington, D.C. area. He came all bundled up, could hardly see his eyes, scarf, hat, gloves, whatever. But he had a briefcase filled with news clippings and pictures of children he had helped in Kenya starting in the mid-1990s. And he told me his story. And at the time I was working in the field of fundraising and development, and I thought, I could help this man. And that's how it all began.
All right. So, Barbara, could you share with us a fond memory that you have of Peter Kamau?
Yes, absolutely. I've only made one trip to Kenya, and it was back 15 years ago in 2010. And that probably is the most memorable memory I have of being with Peter. And the way we were opening our first family support center. We're now on our third family support center. But it was our first family support center, and all of the children and families that we had helped in recent years were invited to come to Nairobi for the opening. And it was just overwhelming for me, the way I was treated. By Peter, by the staff, by the families. I was this white face in this sea of African people. And they loved me and I loved them. So I was getting to see for the first time, actually in person, some of the children that I only see in photographs. And they were healthy and they were running around and they were happy. And so that was a wonderful experience. But Peter also became almost a part of my family. He would come to the States for a few months every fall. So he became a regular visitor to Thanksgiving with my family. And my grandchildren got to know him, friends and family, and it was wonderful for them to see somebody from another part of the world and really have some time with this very humble and inspiring man.
How has this impacted you as an individual?
Well, I'll start crying. As in preparation for tonight and kind of the history, I found an article that I shared with some people last night at dinner. Peter had arranged all kinds of interviews for me when I was in Kenya, and one was Parents Magazine. And the reporter wrote this 3-page article about me.
One of the questions that I have for you, what kind of transformation have you seen with regards to CFAJ from its infancy to its present day?
Well, I use the word transformation a lot in our writings of what we've been able to accomplish. But, we started out, even here in the States, as, representing a small grassroots organization in Kenya, helping children with heart problems. And, we proudly reported to some of our donors and funders that, we did 12 surgeries. We were very pleased because we had increased over the number of surgeries the year before. Well, now we're reporting 72 surgeries, 73 surgeries. That's the word I use all the time, is just the transformation of the organization. But we're still doing it with a very small, dedicated staff in Nairobi. Irene Mapuria, who serves as our executive director that Dr. DiDonato's met, she's been with us since 2009. When I went to Kenya in 2010, I met her. She was a young woman. She was very excited to be working with Peter, who she'd met at her church. And we've seen her blossom as an administrator. And she's very highly regarded and respected by all of our hospital partners. And we also have very talented staff in Hanel Karari, who's our development and communications person. And then most importantly, we also have social workers, who are working with the families, helping them navigate a system that is just mind-boggling for them. I mean, if any of you have had health issues here in the United States, trying to navigate, the hospital system, your doctors, the insurance, whatever, the families that we help have no idea how to cope with all of that. And so we really do, our social workers really provide just a phenomenal service to these families. So that transformation has been incredible. But I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you that, a major part of this transformation is sitting next to me. Since Solomon Wasimi became the president in 2016, he followed me. I was president from 2002 to 2016, and then he followed me. We have grown considerably in partnerships with funders like ARPIA, who's here in Texas, with other funders, with hospitals, both in Kenya, but also Texas Children's has become a partner. Watched their golf tournament last week. But anyway, the transformation has been considerable, and I really must congratulate Solomon for all he has done, and he continues to do.
Thank you very much. So, all right, thank you very much, Barbara. Please give a round of applause.
They want to pay for the surgery, only the surgery. To get that child, to find that child, to get them from their villages into Nairobi for the testing, to get them dental care. Because what we found a few years ago when I joined was a child would be approved for surgery, but by the time the medical team came, they had a cavity and they could not get that surgery. So those children were stopped. So we introduced a dental care. So if a child was approved for surgery, they started 2 months in advance because we had to determine how long they needed to have this treatment. We started 2 months in advance getting them dental treatment. These children don't have birth certificates, so they cannot get insurance. We help them get the insurance. We have a staff, a team, the family center, which is like a Ronald McDonald House. When they come from their villages, they come and they stay. We feed them, we care for them. We teach them how to feed their children once they survive this surgery that Dr. DiDonato, God bless him, oh my God, once he gives them, because they don't know. They don't know. So how do we take care of it? So the challenges that we have is maintaining that family center, finding those children. We pay for their post-op care. We pay for their medication for the rest of their lives. Many of them, we pay for their health insurance for the rest of their lives. So you see those 71 patients. We pay for 2 post-op visits. We pay for all the pre-op visits, the echoes, the new echo they have to get right before surgery. All of that is outside of the surgery costs that we get. That is the money that we as board members donate. Because pretty much most people aren't going to give for that. So that's what we as board members put into our coffer, to pay the executive director, to pay our fundraiser, to pay the social workers. Those are the things that don't happen when we get that funding for the surgery. So I don't even know what your question was, but hopefully I answered it.
Not only is she from Russia, she works for NASA. She's an interpreter for the International Space Station, helping us conduct some cutting-edge science. Fantastic. But her artwork, she's got her own studio gallery over in the Heights.
I am honored to be invited here and show some of my pieces, and hopefully some of you will take them home, some of them. About the first piece. Look, they are all oil. I work in oil on linen mostly, because I believe it is the most living, most giving support that takes oil in a certain way that you can communicate. Anyway, to me, I don't know how you look at it, but I hope you'll just enjoy it. It's farewell. It's a wedge, and life evolves. You see people coming, and it's beautiful to me.
$4,000. The water is fine. Now come on in now at $4,000. Anybody gonna come in at $4,000? Now who's gonna bid him at $4,000? Bid him at $4,000. Anybody gonna come in at $4,000? Uh-oh. What are we gonna do now? Anybody gonna come in at $4,000? At $4,000. You know, this piece, art is in the eye of the beholder. If you need this at $4,000, let's say it one more time. Anybody gonna come in at $4,000? Can we do it at $4,000? All right, hey, you know what? No, we've got something else here. Do we want to try another piece? What do you think? Should we try something else? Sure, yeah. All right, let's bring out our next here, done in oil on linen, and a gorgeous piece. If you'd like to take this home today at $750, please let us know how. It's $750. Anybody gonna come in at $750 now? $7.5. Anybody gonna bid him at $7.5? $7.5 now. Whoa, we got a tough crowd out here. What are we gonna do about that? Uh-oh. Let's see if we can go at $750. Who's coming in at $750? Take home some fine art today. We can decorate your room, decorate your lobby, your office, or hey, we can give it to mom.
A community project that has been protecting the white rhino.
Now, one of the activities that one can do here at Lorien is a walking safari in this rhino sanctuary. These are white rhinos. There's 7 of them in this sanctuary, 5 females and 2 males. And guess what? You can get this close to these great beasts.
Here, conservation and adventure go hand in hand. Golf, anyone? Enjoy a wide array of sporting activities, walks, and the beautiful greenhouse.
This is kale, barely 3 weeks old, ready for picking. And believe it or not, this is what's going to end up on your plate. Now these are the vegetables we got from the greenhouse. I was talking about how it goes all the way from the farm to the fork, ending up on your plate. How you doing, guys?
Thank you.
There your veggies.
Thank you.
Ready to rock and roll?
From picking your food and having it prepared by expert chefs,
From the farm to the fork.
to enjoying your time in the owner's cellar.
At the end of the day, this is one of the best ways to relax here in the owner's cellar. Right here at Lorien. I tell you folks, this is living. You get a nice drink, get smokes, those who do, light up.
Life is good. The Lorien has it all.
All right, anybody want to go?
I have a nice, pretty presentation. It's sitting at home, so if anyone wants to come home, you can read on the bottom.
We can send you the slides to review later
I know.
if you'd like.
All right, Aventino 200 barrels, 2012. If old bottles are good, this is a good one.
Great.
All right, the winner. Hold your tickets up. Hold your tickets up. Hold your tickets up. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'll read the last 2 numbers. 09. This will be for the Volca Isel. 2015 Napa Valley cab. Anyone
I love a
else
good cab.
All right, all right, all right. 2.
Number 2.
02. Who has number 2? Aye!
You get what you
Minnesota
get.
trade for you. Buy another ticket. You have even chances. 50% chance you win. All right, all right. We have 3, 5, and 4. Okay, 3, 4.
Since I'm an administrator on the Give Butter page, I've gotten some emails while we were here together for people who have already gone on our website and made a gift. You know, I think you've heard my story, and certainly, you know, the board members who are here, you know, we're committed to this organization. I know, you know, we're helping children in Africa and not children who live down the street from us. but we make such a difference in providing the support they need so that they can live healthier lives. And with that, I just want to again thank you so much for coming, and hope that you will consider keeping in touch. Go to our website, www.cfatch.org. We'll keep you posted on what we're doing, how we're doing in terms of our missions, and some of the other priority projects. So please, we look forward to starting a new friendship and relationship with you all. Thank you.